Knowing which microphone to use at any given time is another important consideration. When push comes to shove, it all comes down to knowing your tools, and microphone selection is just as key as where you place the microphone. The main benefit that condensers have over dynamic microphones is their extended frequency and transient response. They also generally have a louder output, but in turn are much more sensitive to loud sounds. Most condensers require 48 volts phantom power, but in some cases, like with my Rode NTG4 Plus shotgun, it has a rechargeable internal battery, which saves draining my battery-operated recorders. When first getting into audio recording, it might seem quite daunting to know which mic to use and when. There's so many to choose from. They all have numbers for names and sound like something out of a parts catalog. U87, C414, RE20, SM57. However, knowing some of the basics about their differences makes mic selection much less mystifying. At times, the choice of which mic to use comes down to deciding between large and small diaphragm condenser microphones. For stereo miking, I carry a matched pair of Rode NT5 small diaphragm condenser mics. The benefit of matched microphones is that a pair would perform exactly alike, thus making stereo pair behave in a way that makes a very accurate stereo recording. Essentially, the built-in XY microphones on field recorders are also built as matched pairs. As you might have guessed, the most obvious difference between large diaphragm condensers and small diaphragm condensers is the size of the mic's diaphragm. A large diaphragm condenser has a diaphragm diameter of 1 inch or larger, while a small diaphragm condenser's diaphragm is under 1 inch. To save a bit of breath, I'll refer to small diaphragm condensers as SDC and large diaphragm condensers as LDC. The question is, does bigger mean better? No, this is not necessarily the case, but size does make a difference. To get a clearer idea, I'll address some general attributes of both types of condensers. An SDC tends to roll off more of the low frequencies than an LDC microphone. These are great for capturing highs and mid-range frequencies. If you want to capture a deeper sound, LDC mics normally work best. The smaller SDC's diaphragm responds better to higher frequencies. Also because of its smaller mass, an SDC's diaphragm responds more quickly to transient sounds than the equivalent LDC. This makes an SDC a good choice whenever capturing fast transients cleanly. Additionally, SDC mics have less off-axis coloration, which makes them a great choice for stereo miking. In general, SDC mics normally give you 1. Excellent transient response, 2. Extended high-frequency response, 3. Increased directivity, 4. Lower handling noise, 5. Flatter frequency response, and 6. Low off-axis coloration. Basically, this means that an SDC mic is a good choice for recording instruments or sounds with quick attacks in the mid to high frequency range. A good example would be a hi-hat. Because of the SDC's excellent transient response and directivity, they should be able to capture quickly and cleanly without picking up too much of the other instruments that make up the drum kit. In contrast, normally an LDC is often a good choice when amplifying or recording a quiet sound source, especially from a distance when you want to avoid adding noise from the mic or mic preamp. This is why LDC mics are normally great choices for ambience or room mics. To generalize, LDC mics have deep low frequency response, high sensitivity, low noise, and a good sounding proximity effect. Because of these characteristics, LDCs are usually outstanding vocal mics. Who doesn't want to sound like Barry White, right? The uses for large diaphragm condenser mics is a very long one. They're great for toms and guitar cabinets, brass instruments, ensembles, and much, much more. These are just a few basic examples and guidelines to help you get started. Be sure to experiment with different types of mics and mic placement. Most importantly, use your ears. They're your greatest asset to help you decide what to use and when to use it.